All right, good afternoon, DFS Army. This is RK here. I'm going to do a quick video on how to attack this Draftkings NHL Tiers slate tonight. I was starting to do my write-up, and it's the options here tonight are really interesting. I think tonight is going to involve a different strategy than normal, and I was having trouble putting that into words, so I'm just going to do a video to show you guys. I've been meaning to do a video on been getting a lot of questions on how I attack like the 20 max entry tournaments, how I get my GPP spread and everything. So this is going to be killing two birds with one stone here. So let's start in tier 1. You got Seguin, Ben, McKinnon, and McDavid. All right, now if you look, they left tier 2 open. None of these 4 players have a stacking partner in tier 2. So whoever you take in tier 1, you got to drop to Jersey, Pittsburgh, or Carolina. All right. That leaves some interesting options. And tier 5 and 6 being open for all these teams leads to some really interesting options. Now, so McDavid, for example, has nobody with him. All right. McDavid's going to be a one-off. He's going to fit wherever you want to fit him. Dallas, we're not too high on Dallas tonight. They had a bad game last night in Ottawa. They're traveling into Jersey now, who's a better team. 3rd game in 4 nights. I don't see it working out well for them. Now, McKinnon and Rantanen, if you're using Rantanen, you got to use McKinnon. Vice versa. If you're using either of these 2 players, use them together. Rantanen has an assist on every Nate McKinnon goal this year. The correlation between these 2 is incredible compared to your typical correlation of other players. All right. So anyway, that out of the way, I'm going to do a quick rundown example. So let's just say we are going to use Nate and Rantanen. You get 2 and 3 open. Palmieri and Hall fit right in there. Malkin and Kessel fit right in there. You can do Crosby and Kessel for a power play stack. All right, you can get Aho in there and then take somebody else from tier 3. You can drop to Eichel or Marchessault. All right, so quick example. So we got McKinnon, Palmieri, Hall, Rantanen already locked in. Boom. 4, 5, and 6. This is where it gets really interesting. Or 5, 6, and 7, sorry. So in 7, you could take Landeskog. So let's do that just to fill this in. So now we got a Colorado 1 full stack. Then you got Nico Hischier over here in tier 8. All right, great. Boom, tier 8's done. 5 and 6. What am I going to do with 5 and 6? Look at this when you scroll down. Look at all these stacks that start in 5 and have a player in 6. Stamkos and Point. Voracek and Ghost, Giroux and Ghost, Barkov and Trocheck for a power play overlap, Sucker and Stahl. You go right in there. Boom, Voracek, Ghost. Take that out of there. You can do Trocheck, Barkov. That's how we're going to attack this slate tonight, guys. We're not going to rotate. I always say lock in 7 players, rotate a tier. We're not going to rotate a tier tonight. We're going to rotate the entire stack. All right? Because then once you take all your options here, you can jump over and go, all right, I'm done with New Jersey. I'm going to drop to Malkin and Kessel. Or I'm done with Colorado. I'm going to take McDavid with Palmieri and Hall. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to add Kucherov to the Tampa Bay stacks. Or I'm going to take Connor and Line now. And then, find a one-off in tier 6 and maybe use tier 6 as a rotator at that point. But the options tonight, this whole finding how you put your stacks together in tiers is like putting a puzzle together. All right. It's easy on a classic slate to go, okay, I'm going to use these 3 players, and now I just got to find guys that another line that fits that salary cap. Where in here, there's no salary cap. I mean, if you want the player, you can take them. It's just how much of one line do you want to take that's available, and how does it fit with the other lines? Because, I mean, you can't use – you got restrictions here where, if you somehow manage to get McKinnon and McDavid in the same lineup for the main slate, great. You got to find a salary relief to make it happen, but I'm sure there's a way to make it happen. You might not like how your punts turn out to make that happen, but here you can't do that. It's one or the other. Make a choice. Now, who fits with McKinnon? Rantanen, Landeskog. That's your choice. Soderberg doesn't correlate with any of these guys. He's going to be a one-off either way you play him. All right. So, make sure we're still going here. McDavid, he's going to fit wherever you want him. All right. So you can, if you decide not to use Colorado and you go with McDavid, you got Palmieri and Hall. Then you can do, your Pittsburgh stack. So once you, just say you did Connor, Palmieri, Hall, then you can go and you go say, okay, tier 4, I can 4, 5, 6. I can go all Tampa Bay here, or I can go Winnipeg here, or I could just pick a random guy in tier 4 and then go back to my tier 5 starting point stacks and, throw in Hischer in 8. The options are incredible tonight, guys. So just take your time, find out which offenses you want to target, see where they line up in the stack chart, and then just start putting puzzle pieces together. All right. So real quick, while I got you guys, I am going to do a quick breakdown of the tools that I use and how I try to determine which of these guys I think are the best cash options. Because, we're saying it. Hockey's volatile. Last night I said fade AA from Detroit, and he got 2 goals. That happens a lot. It's like Chop said earlier in his video. He said it in the coach's VIP channels last night. DFS NHL is like a marriage. Just get used to being wrong. So anyway, dailyfaceoff.com. You guys should have this bookmarked. All right, you go to their line combinations page here. You're going to get every team. So click on Dallas. All right, so they're saying that Radulov is still going to be on line 2. So that opens up your options that you can still use Radulov and Klingberg together without using Ben and Seguin. That's perfectly fine. All right, how's Florida looking tonight? Florida on the road, I expect Trocheck, Hubador, and Hoffman. It looks like we'll probably get the better matchup coming here into Philadelphia. I think these guys are going to have a game. Barkov, line 1, they can still do damage as well, especially on the power play. Flyers are kind of undisciplined, so I wouldn't be surprised if Florida gets some good power play opportunities today as well. How's Vegas looking? All right. Top 3 are still together. We rode these guys a lot last year. Marchessault, Carlson, Riley, Smith. Not sure how I feel about that game yet. But anyway. All right, so when you're picking your offenses, start with the research station. Go to today's games. I got it all laid out for you. All right. Dallas and New Jersey. We just talked about them a lot. All right, so when I did my last update, the Vegas odds were 135 in favor of Jersey, over under 6. We see we got Keith Kincaid is confirmed to start. The research station gives him a 55% win chance. That's in line with, odds makers say Jersey should win. Research station says Kincaid should win over Khudobin. Then you can break it down if you want. You can look at historical matchup. It's an East-West matchup, so there's not a lot of history. They only play each other twice a year. So the zone goes back 2 years. So the Devils have a slight edge, 2-1-1. Actually, they're both 2-1-1. 2 wins, a loss, and an overtime loss. So these guys, that's telling me that in 4 games they've gone to overtime twice. They play each other kind of tight. Panthers in Philadelphia, another game I'm interested in. Odds makers say Philly should win. RS says Elliott should win. Elliott expected to give up 2.79 goals, and if you look, the odds makers are saying that Florida should score 3 goals, and the Flyers should score 3 goals. They got the over/under set at 6. Odds are pretty close. RS is giving the edge to Philadelphia here, but this could end up being a pretty good game. A 4-3 game, a 3-3 game. It could be a 1-0 game. It's hockey. Colorado, New York. All right, so how we're interested in playing McKinnon and Rantanen. Odds makers say Colorado should win. Varlamov projected to win. And the Rangers are historically, again, another East-West matchup. Historically, they give up 3.25 goals in the last 4 games that they've played them. Now, all these other records up here are still last season. I'm waiting for the 10-game mark to come around to convert over to current season. But Pittsburgh and Vancouver. I mean, you guys get the idea. So look for the offenses you want to stack. Go through, look at the video Chop posted earlier today. He goes through pretty well how to find the correct offenses. Then you look at the line combo chart. All right, how's everybody projected to do? So we're interested in New Jersey 1. All right, RS gives Hall and Palmieri pretty good implied scoring chance. Saying Taylor Hall's going to get 4 shots on goal today. That's ridiculous. FanDuel, DraftKings projections. I actually have Taylor Hall projected over Palmieri. That's basically due baseline using last year's stats. It does account for this season, but we are still taking these numbers with a grain of salt until the changeover happens. But, I mean, this is telling me here that you can use Hall and Palmieri together. He sure is maybe not a key component. That you definitely want to use Hall and Palmieri together, but he sure is just a bonus whether you get him or not. Same goes down here for Florida. Barkov and Dadonov. You always want to stack those two together. Bukestad, he gets his. So you can use all three, or you can use just Barkov and Dadonov. All right. So for skaters, how do I find out who's cash safe? All right, so let's look at Tier 1. So I added the other day I added in the tiers. Scroll over now next to the line of power play. If a player is on the tier slate, it's going to show. I put a filter in there for you. All right, so this is how Tier 1 stacks up. Connor McDavid ranked the highest with Nasty Nate right behind him. Seguin and Ben, like I said, not sure they're going to have a good game tonight. The RS is reflecting that slightly. Puts them ranked 3 and 4. So we're going to scroll all the way over here to our consistency ranking. So this is the CR chart that I talk about in my write-ups. All right, so how are these guys doing? What these numbers mean is Connor McDavid, over his last 10 games, 9 out of those 10 games, he hit at least 2 DraftKings points. All 4 of these players. Connor McDavid is the only player in the last 10 games to get a 0. McDavid and Ben are the only players in the last 20 games to get a 0. This is what we're talking about, consistency. How consistent is this player over these 3 metrics of games to hit these point totals? So you see, they all stack up pretty damn good. McDavid, McKinnon, Ben, Seguin, they're all 100% or 80% to hit 2 or 4 points, 60%, and Ben at 40% to hit 6 points. This is over the last 5 games. All right, for cash, we want to see how are they doing right now, are they hot or cold, and how are they doing in the long term. All right, all 4 of these players tick the boxes for cash safe. All right, if you're using them in tiers tonight, it's just going to be, if you're using them in tiers tonight, it's a pick your poison. Are you going to stack or not stack in cash? You always want to stack a little bit in cash. In tiers, I recommend 2 players per team, especially on a big slate like this. You want to get spread out. So let's go to a little more a tier that's a little harder to project. Let's just pick tier 4. All right, so here we got all of our guys in tier 4. We're going to sort again. Kucherov leads the way, followed by Edler, going up against the Smith. The Smith is leaky. Pittsburgh is going to win this game. I guarantee you Pittsburgh is going to win this game. I shouldn't say I guarantee you because it's hockey, but I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh is going to win this game. The Smith might give up 5 goals in this win. He's not going to score well. So Vancouver's still in play. You don't need to play a team that's going to win for them to get good points. Chris Letang going up against Anders Nilsson. Yeah, you got a little mini game stack there. There's our boy Rantanen. All right, so again, if I'm building a cash lineup, I'm going to go here. Kucherov throws me a big red flag. He's only getting 2 points 40% of the time. He's getting a 0 40% of the time. All right, over the last 10, 50% of the time, he's only hit 2 points. Kucherov is not cash safe. All right, he could be the highest scoring player on this slate, but over his last 10 games, he is the least consistent player in this tier. All right, I'm going to look for guys like Letang. All right, I want to start with the 2 and 4 area and see how that pans out, because I might have a guy over here that's getting 30%. 30% of his last 10 games, he scored 8 points. Great, that's my ceiling. What's his floor look like? Because if he's got zeros over here, then he's a boom or bust player. You don't want boom or bust players in your cash lineup. You want safe players, as safe as you can be in hockey. All these guys are fitting this bill except for Kucherov. Kucherov is the only player. You definitely do not want to use Kucherov. Now, the rest of these guys you want to base off a matchup. So who's in the best matchup? I think Rantanen is. All right, I think Letang's in a good spot. So I would say Letang, Rantanen, and yeah, Letang and Rantanen. I would use them in my cash lineup. All right, I believe our Flynn likes Edler. There's no salary concerns here, so can Edler keep up with Letang and Rantanen on a even basis when you're not looking for points per dollar value? It's a possibility. So let's add all 3 of those guys. Say they're my cash player pool for that tier. All right, and let's look at tier 8, because this is usually the hardest tier to do. Wow, look at this. Brock Besser, projected at 5 Draftkings points. Zibanejad, Wild Bill. All right, here's Nico Hischier. We're going to be using him in any jersey stacks we use, possibly. Soderberg. I think Chop is on Chop like Soderberg tonight. So let's go and scroll over and see how consistent they are. Are they safe or not? Besser, 70% to hit 2 points. This is not a good tier. These are not good signs when you look and say every player in this tier is 50% to only hit 2 points. All right, so we're at a crapshoot again. So who's hot? Ferland has done it all of his last 5 games. All right, he's getting a little more consistent going into the 4-point range, him and Soderberg, in the last 5. So over the last 4, he's done it 6 out of 10 times. We got a lot of zeros. All right, Besser's has a goose egg, while Bill has 2 goose eggs. Versace has 3 goose eggs. This is where your choices get hard, because there's nobody that really stands out in this tier. All right, so it's basically, at this point, you might want to look at these guys and say, who can you stack them with? All right, Soderberg can be stacked with, Soderberg can't be stacked with anybody in the tier slate. Ferland can be. All right, Ferland can stack with Aho. Hischier can stack with Hall and Palmieri. So at that point, for cash, you're basically pulling a name out of a hat in this tier for cash. Look for your offense. See if any of these guys correlate with the offenses you like the most in tiers. All right, guys. Went a little longer than I thought. Hope I didn't get too off track and confuse you. Any questions, hit me up in our private coaching channel. Anybody that stumbles across this on YouTube, dfsarmy.com. Coupon code KICKSAVE will get you 10% off. All right, guys. Good luck tonight.